This application has to do with carpentry. In carpentry, some pieces of plywood that are called 3/4 inch plywood are actually 11/16 inches thick. How much thinner is such a piece than its name indicates? We will solve this problem using the 5-step problem-solving process. For the first step, familiarize. We might note that 11/16 is going to be less than 3/4 because we're asked how much thinner such a piece is. And since we're looking for how much thinner a piece is than its name indicates, we let T equal the number of inches by which the size that it's called, 3/4 inches, actually exceeds the real thickness of the plywood. Now we go to the next step of our problem-solving process, and that is to translate this situation into mathematical language. We think about the plywood, we can think of it as the actual thickness of the plywood plus the excess thickness, we could say, or the thickness we might expect it to be, but it's not, or the extra that we expect to be there that's not there, is what it's named, 3/4 inch plywood. Well, the actual thickness is 11/16 inch plus, translate to addition sign, that excess thickness we called T is 3/4. Our third step is to solve the equation, and to solve we will subtract 11/16 on both sides of the equation. We have 11/16 plus T minus 11/16 equals 3/4 minus 11/16. We have an equivalent equation because we've subtracted 11/16 from both sides. This side simplifies to T, and on the right side we want to get a common denominator in order to subtract the fractions. 3/4, since 16 is a multiple of 4, 16 is our least common multiple of 4 and 16, so we can write 3/4 times 4 over 4 minus 11 over 16, and we have 12/16 minus 11/16. We now have a common denominator, so we can subtract numerators. 12 minus 11 is 1, and we write that over the common denominator, 16. So what we're saying is that that the actual plywood is 1/16 of an inch smaller than what we would expect it to be. Well, to check that, which is our fourth step, we could take this thickness of the plywood and add that extra 1/16, which is 12/16, which simplifies to 3/4. And that shows that 1/16 is the amount.
Okay. Stay by. And action.
This shows that the excess thickness we'd expect to be in that piece of plywood, but it's not there, is 1/16 of an inch. So now we can state the answer to our problem, the fifth step of the problem-solving strategy, and that is a 3/4 inch piece of plywood is actually 1/16 inch thinner than its name indicates.